One of the most shocking off-scripted moments in recent memory as a TNA championship was destroyed on a GCW show this coming on the same night that TNA themselves hosted a pay-per-view where a couple of WWE stars showed up. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to get into a TNA star, former world champion, actually seems to be leaving the company. What could be next for him? All that and much more coming up right here in this video. So be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's get right into it. This is what everyone online is talking about. PCO, former, I guess, I don't know if he is still the digital media champion. Anyway, but former TNA star, current digital media champion, maybe, PCO, seemed to go off script earlier today on the GCW show, towards the beginning of the show that is being held in the Hammerstein Ballroom. He comes out, he takes the TNA Digital Media Championship, kind of spits on it, shines it up, puts it on a chair, and proceeds to take a sledgehammer and literally destroy this championship belt. And he then went on to take the mic and seemingly do what we all originally thought was a bit of a shoot promo. But we are now learning that this was indeed a shoot and not necessarily a promo. Here it is, the insight from PW Insider. PCO's rant and destruction of the TNA digital media title was legitimate. He is done. Repeat, he is done with TNA. His deal expired at the end of the year. And obviously, this caused a big stir online. For their part, GCW, as soon as he took the mic, or shortly after he took the mic, you could see several officials, including the referee, trying to take the mic away from him, trying to stop him, trying to just get this back off the rails. It seems like they were not happy about everything that went down here. And it's a messy situation. And it looks like PCO, for all intents and purposes, went off script, took that sledgehammer, and destroyed this championship. No longer a TNA talent. As, again, in another weird thing here, it looks like TNA didn't bother getting their belt back, which, I don't know. I guess they have bigger fish to fry, but this was really interesting. This was one of the most talked about things, I think, online tonight. Obviously, TNA Genesis is also tonight, and we'll get into a little bit of kind of what happened there. But this was definitely a weird way to start off the night. And again, GCW, as soon as it looked like he was not going to be able to be restrained, they cut the feed. So we did not see the full rant, but he was kind of just going off on TNA a little bit. And this is further complicated by the fact that TNA and WWE currently have a working relationship, a partnership that they announced. And a company that actually used to do some unofficial partnering with WWE was actually GCW. And GCW is essentially like a breeding ground for the next generation of talent, or another way for indie talent to kind of get some exposure. And they've really managed to do a lot with kind of bringing the indies under their umbrella. But it does seem like, if I'm WWE and I'm seeing this, maybe I'm a little bit more hesitant to work with a GCW in the future if this is the case. Obviously, it's not their fault, or at least as we know right now. I think that if this were a situation where they intently did this, I doubt they would do it without getting the permission of TNA. If this is PCO doing it by himself, then, well, it is what it is. What is GCW going to do? But I highly doubt that GCW would not only risk any partnership potentially they would have in the future with WWE, but any partnership they would have with TNA, because there are TNA talent who have shown up on GCW shows as well. Because, again, it is like a big breeding ground for the indies. So the way I see it, I think this was an isolated kind of dude going off script. And look, at the end of the day, when it comes to talent, you trust them to go out there, do their jobs, and not do things like this. So I think there's definitely going to be a lot of people in GCW who are not happy. But guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about that ultimate crash out by PCO. At PCO, by the way, guys, if you don't know, he was one of the Quebecers back in the 90s. He spent some time in WCW later on and ended up coming back to TNA, had a bit of a career resurgence, and won the Digital Media Championship off of Rhino just last year. Ever since then, he made sporadic appearances. You know, the Digital Media Championship was not really this bastion of greatness or excellence in TNA, so probably best to get rid of that, and this was a hell of a way to go out, wasn't it? Anyway, speaking of going out, let's talk about quickly one of TNA's biggest free agents that is about to hit the free agent market, that being former world champion Josh Alexander. So Josh Alexander, former world champion in TNA, seems like he is done with the company. This according to a brand spanking new report from the good folks over at PW Insider. Here is the quote: Josh Alexander will be a free agent by mid-February. Alexander has long wished to see what his worth would be outside of TNA. Josh Alexander has long been one of TNA's probably most flagship talent, in that he is the flag bearer. He's the guy who has, for the past couple of years, through the pandemic, through thick and thin, waved that flag. That's why when he won the TNA World Championship, it was such a massive moment for him, his family, and an emotional one for a lot of TNA fans a couple of years ago. So it is good that he is now able to close this chapter of his career, it seems. And the thing is, he had a match with Santana at TNA Genesis. He lost that match. It was an I Quit match. And at the end, he actually gave Santana the rub. He shook his hand and said, TNA is going to need a guy like you to carry it forward, because I just don't quit this match. I quit TNA. He drops the mic and he walks away. It's been long rumored and speculated that Josh Alexander was trying to see what his value would be in either AEW or WWE. I think prevailing sentiment at this point, given his promo earlier on in Genesis, is that he's likely headed to WWE, considering they have this partnership with TNA. And it would make sense for Alexander to kind of take this momentum from this specific promo into NXT or into WWE. And I'm a guy who believes that Josh Alexander does not need to be anywhere near NXT in order to be successful. However, given just the way WWE is, they don't necessarily care about in-ring work. They are all in on the spectacle, at least on the main roster. So the best place for Josh Alexander at this point to shine, if we're being honest, is definitely in NXT, where Shawn Michaels, I think, would definitely be able to cook with a guy like Josh Alexander. So anyway, a lot to get into. Guys, let me know what you guys think about the prospect of Josh Alexander going to WWE, or is he going to swerve us all and end up in All Elite Wrestling? Let me know. Also, let me know what you guys think about that insane PCO TNA Championship thing. We live in very interesting times with professional wrestling. I'm so glad to be talking about it every single day of the week right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling. Thank you so much to everyone who made it this far in the video. Look, I'm glowing different colors. That's how cool this whole channel is. I glow. Anyway, guys, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.